What's good? How everybody feeling out there today? I want to talk about something that's been going over on the airways for a while now, but I want to bring a term to the forefront. It's called monolithic. 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 Definition of cast as a single piece or constituting a massive, undifferentiated, and often rigid whole. Black people, we are not a monolithic. That is not us. Everybody doesn't have to have the same point of view. It doesn't even matter if most of us do. That don't mean all of us do. So when I hear people use the term coon or shucking and jiving, it almost defeats the purpose of having your own opinion and viewing things from your light. It almost like saying, well, if you don't agree with me, you wrong. We can't get nowhere as a black community if that's our thoughts. There's so many stigmas that us as black people place on our own people that hinders us moving forward as a collective group. That don't mean that everybody's going to follow the same path, because you don't have to go the same path if the ending is in the same light. If all of us know we want to get to a certain point, we may take different routes to get there. That's part of life. That's part of us understanding where we need to go and what we as an individual need to do to get there. What I'm referring to is the Colin Kaepernick situation. Regardless of the facts, how you feel about the situation, that's your personal point of view. You can feel that way. I look at it in a totally different light than most people do, as far as what I've been seeing online, the comments, and the kickback. But I'm not here to say that one person wrong and one person right. I just want to point out some things that I think need to be brought to the light. All right, if you was going to a court, regardless of what you've done, if you were right, if you was wrong, if you're going to court, you dress accordingly. Suit, tie, to look presentable to the judge. Even though that shouldn't even be the case, you should be able to go to court any kind of way possible. But that ain't how it is. Most people dress up, make sure they look nice, so when they go in there, they're presented in a certain light to the judge. Even though the church says come as you are, people still go in there dressed up. And if you don't come in the church attire, you get the side eye. For whatever reason, that's just the reality of the situation. When you go to a job interview, you dress the part. You wear what you're supposed to wear, suit and tie, or button up, looking nice, to go in there to try to get the employer to hire you. That's the reality of the situation. You're not allowed to go in there dressed in streetwear or anything you want to wear. Slug wear, some DJI gear. They might not hire you, but we got some button-ups too. But that's the reality of it. We are judged on our appearance and our color of our skin. So in that light, for Colin Kaepernick to wear a Kunta Kinte shirt, even though most people say, well, he should be able to wear whatever he want, it sends the wrong message when you're trying to get employed by an employer. Regardless of all the other situations that's going on around it, that right there is one reason why they would not hire you if it was in regular America. If you're not talking about the NFL, you wouldn't go into the courthouse with a shirt that say fuck the system or fuck the cops. You wouldn't go to a job interview saying I am my own, with a shirt that says I'm my own boss, I don't take orders. Or you won't go to church saying forget the preacher, whatever. You dress accordingly to what's going on. I think that's common knowledge that everybody knows. With that in light, I think everybody should have a problem, or say maybe he could have handled it differently in the attire he wore to the NFL workout or to his workout, whatever. All the other circumstances, that's for everybody else to debate. I'm just stating on what I seen wrong with some of it. Even though we already know that the NFL wasn't playing fair anyway. He got paid for them for them being in collusion with each other. So we already knew to look at him with the side eye. So to actually go to go to the workout with that shirt on, I think it hurt him more than it helped him. My personal point of view. And we understand racial profiling goes on. Things of that nature goes on, but those are the reality of things. We need to stop looking at what it should be. It should be everybody's judged on their personal character and the skill set that they brings to the table. But that's not how everyday life goes. It's based on so many other things, and we understand that in the reality of things, but we often look at it toward what it should be, and we try to put that in the frame of where it should be this and it should be that. But that ain't what it is, though. Stop looking at what it should be. Look at what it is, and let's strive to get to where it should be. But that you cannot strive to get where it should be with not basing everything on the realities that's going on now. There is two problems I had with what most people were saying. For one, I don't see how Jay-Z is a sellout because he's doing a deal with the NFL. What most people could do, because most of us have our phone with us every day, Google the activist work Jay-Z has done. Now, this is his track record of what he's done up to this point. So it ain't like he just started doing it. I did a little research, but I'll let y'all find out something for yourself. In 2003, he started a fund for individuals facing social and economic hardships in 2003. In 2008, he made a trust for Sean Bell's children. He also did that for Nipsey Hussle's children. He paid Meek Mill legal fees. Meek Mill said he probably wouldn't even been able to get out of prison if it wasn't for Jay-Z. And countless other things Jay-Z has done far as social activists for the black community that somehow people want to erase because of this situation with the NFL. In today's light, Malcolm X would have never been able to become Malcolm X. He would have still been the person that he was before jail, because it seems like people are ready to find anything to point at you to say, see, I told you he wasn't what he said he was, without looking at his track record. They don't look at the fact that Malcolm X views and ways changed once he took the pilgrimage over to cross seas. They don't look at how his views changed from saying that it should be exclusively black people to then he was saying it should be everybody who was being disenfranchised. Also, Stephen A. You can dislike Stephen A, hate Stephen A, but you need to Google Stephen A too. He just donated $250,000, $250,000 to Winston-Salem University, which is a HBCU. He was the ambassador for the HBCU week, bringing more light to HBCUs. But I guess they get erased too because you don't like his point of view or the way he explains certain things. You shouldn't. I ain't gonna say you can't. You can do anything you want. You shouldn't, just because of his opinion of a situation, you shouldn't automatically go to the point of saying that he's a coon. You shouldn't say Jay-Z's a coon for all the things that he's done and the fact of where he come from. What he took to get to where he's at. He didn't become a billionaire just by black people supporting him, and most black people ain't support him like they should have. But he's also been in the fight to make things happen. He got ridiculed in the news for certain things he did. He was influential when President Obama getting elected. Stephen A does his things too, but because his views are not aligned with some people, they automatically go to, oh, he's a coon, he's tap dancing. We got to stop using those terms for people that we see that have different opinions than we have. That's the ultimate setback, to say to somebody that only based on what you see they are saying on a specific situation, you erase their history of what they've done up to that point to say that there's a coon and they're a sellout. I just find not progressive for us to think that way. Please leave your comments and your feelings at the bottom. Share this video. And one thing we got to remember, tomorrow starts a new day.